Hello, and welcome to the BYU Family History Library webinar series. We're glad you could join us today. I'm Anna Summers, and I'll be your host for this webinar. If you have technical difficulties during the webinar, please use the chat box, and I can address your concerns. You are welcome to use the chat box during the webinar for comments, insights, and questions. However, all questions will be addressed at the end of our presentation. Our next webinar will be on April 14th, virtual libraries, where to find key genealogical library collections and how to access them with Annette Adams. If you would like to access a previous webinar, please visit our webinar index on our website or search on our YouTube channel. All of our webinars are recorded and uploaded by the following week for your convenience. We also post links to recordings and other updates on our Facebook and Twitter accounts. For today's webinar, we are pleased to hear from Bob Taylor, who will be giving a presentation on Family History Guide tips and tricks. And then Bob has earned his BA degree from Brigham Young University and his MA degree from California State University, Los Angeles, both in music education. A career change led him to instructional design and technical writing, where he has worked for large technology corporations such as Novell, Intel, and Western Digital. At Intel University, he redesigned key training courses for employees and managers worldwide, as well as teaching management courses in Washington, Arizona, Oregon, California, and Utah. He has authored many online and written learning systems, helping others accelerate learning in technology, music, and family history. Bob has been a featured presenter at Rich Tech 2016, 18, 19, and 2020. He has also presented at the Family History Library in Salt Lake City, Pikes Peak Library, Colorado Fair, Riverton Family Search Library, UVTAGG, and the BYU Family History Conference, in addition to numerous family history fairs in the United States. And Bob, if you're ready, we'll turn the time over to you.
Okay, pleased to be here and excited to present this webinar. What we have here is the home page for the Family History Guide. And so what I'm going to do is walk through a PowerPoint that I've put together that highlights some of the tips and tricks that you might not be aware of with the Family History Guide. So this presentation assumes that you have been on the website, you know where to find it, and have done a little bit of browsing around on it. And we'll get into some of the things that perhaps you may not be familiar with, but can definitely be helpful as you use the Family History Guide. And here we go. Free, no subscriptions, ads, launched in 2015, visitors from over 150 countries. It's been used as a training method in the family history libraries and family history centers throughout the world. And it's in the portal for all of the 5,000 family history centers around the world. You can think of the Family History Guide website as a hub for learning, research, and activities. So that's an important thing. Okay, so a little bit of comparison. Sometimes people ask us, what's the difference between the Family History Guide and Cindy's List and the Family Search Wiki and Help Center? So this brief chart here gives you a little bit of idea of what the comparisons might be. First of all, Cindy's List is pretty much just website links. There are over 300,000 links on the page on the website for Cindy's List. It's pretty amazing. You would classify that as humongous. Family Search Wiki and Help Center, there are website links, links to articles, and Help Center has some information as well. Mostly it's focused around learning family search, and there are links to videos, mostly for the Family Search and for Roots Tech. Okay, the Family History Guide also has website links. Links to articles. Now, what we concentrate on is more of a variety. So you would find articles that are part of Ancestry, Find My Past, as well as a lot of other different websites. We have a variety of videos also from those different platforms, and we embed a lot of the videos onto the site for easy access. One thing that you don't find in either Cindy's List or Family Search is a built-in learning system. So on the website, you can find out more information about that, but it's basically a system of projects, goals, and choices that help you learn more about the Family History Guide and the individual platforms you're trying to learn, such as you can learn anything you want to about family search or about ancestry or my heritage or find my past, as well as do research in any of the countries. We also have an online tracker, which is a wonderful online database that helps you track your learning progress. It's free. It does require a login. And we have a lot of training resources in the trainers menu on the Family History Guide website as well. All right, so here is a brief summary of the things that we'll be covering in the webinar today. We have number one, what's new on the site. Number two, finding what you need. Number three, hidden gems. Number four, tools. And number five, the vault. So well, here you go. Homepage. So we've recently updated the homepage. We've made it to have just a little bit less text to read on the opening screen. There's one path here to get started, makes it a little easier. Some of the reasons for the redesign of the homepage were occasionally people would tell us that they kind of didn't know what to do after they encountered the home screen. So we decided to make it pretty easy for you. Small 2-column format here and a menu reminder. It says select a menu at the top of the page. So I'll demonstrate that in just a bit, but first of all, we'll go to the Get Started. If you click there, you're going to find the redesigned Get Started page. You can watch an overview video, take a site tour, and here are the different options that are laid out there. These are first steps. So basically you can just go from left to right if you're new to the website. If you want to dig in a little bit more, we have a column here or a row for Learn and Explore. So clicking any of these will get you started with learning family search or ancestry or my heritage or find my past step by step with screenshots and links to articles and videos and so forth. We also have a portal that gets you started with learning how to do research, both the basics and for locations. And we have a system of country pages where you can find information about practically any country in the world, plus states and counties and so forth in the United States. On the third row, we have activities. So we have family history activities for families, youth, individuals, kids, family history for youth, as I mentioned, a YouTube channel, and resources for trainers. So those are all great resources to take advantage of. So let's go over to the website here. And if you go across the top, you have the familiar drop-down menu there. You can take whatever you need to and learn about it in the Family History Guide. If I go to Get Started, here's the Get Started page, and you can go to any of these items. One thing to mention here is for new users, the beginner's path can be pretty useful. So you notice there are a lot of options across the top here in the regular website for the Family History Guide. But if you want a cut down version that's very small, you can click Beginner's Path and you get just a few items here. So for someone who's starting off and might be a little intimidated by a lot of options, this narrows it down quite a bit. And I can click here to switch back to the full version as well. One thing that we saw on the Get Started page was when you mouse over or hover over a particular link or tile, you get a small synopsis or summary pop-up that helps you understand what's going to be contained in that particular area. Okay. All right, the next thing to talk about is using the search function. So we have a magnifying glass in the header, and it does an internal Google search, and there's also the familiar Control F that you can use on longer pages of text. So let's check that out now. All right, so I'm going to go back up to the top here, and here we see in the upper left-hand corner the magnifying glass icon. I can click on that, and it opens up a search bar there, and I can type in whatever topic I need to. such as adoption, and I can go anywhere I need to in the family history guide and immediately find the information that I want to there. And this opens in a separate window, so I can close that up. So that's the basics of using the search tool there. Remember, it does a search based on the site internally. It does not go out to external websites around the internet or Google and try to find information there. It's just within the family history guide. Okay, one other thing to show. So suppose we wanted to go in the United States here, and if I'm looking for the public records index, I could just do a Control F and type in public records index, and that's a very fast way of finding something that's on a page, as this page is rather long and it might take you a while to scroll through some of the items there. Okay. Incidentally, if you want to get a summary of what's available in a particular goal or page, you can use this Close Choices button up here in the header area. And now you see only the main topics here. Click it again and you can see all the intervening text with the links to articles and videos as well. All right, topics. One way that you can find what topics are addressed in the Family History Guide is using the topics page in the intro menu. You'll also find information in subtopics in choices, and we use semi-bold headings to also indicate subtopics as well. So I'll show you how that works here in the website. So I'm going to go to the topics page, intro, topics, and here you have an alphabetized list of whatever you wanted to learn about in the Family History Guide. If you just see, okay, Scotland, I could open that page, very quick and easy, kind of reminiscent of the yellow pages or any alphabetical directory that you might be familiar with. If I wanted to demonstrate, I'll demonstrate subtopics and semi-bold headings. So for this, I'll go to the United States page and scroll down a bit. In goal 1, you notice we have record basics and record information. So these are subtopics. You have steps 1 through 4 here and another step 1, 2, 3, 4, and so forth. So also the semi-bold headings. So you saw the public record index and ancestry wiki and so forth. So these are ways of just seeing at a glance a little bit more easily the type of topics that are available, so you can scan with your eyes and see what's available on the page pretty simply and easily. Okay, shared topics versus hybrid topics and more. Okay, so shared topics, some of the topics in the Family History Guide are actually shared between platforms. So our basic platforms are Family Search, Ancestry, MyHeritage, and Find My Past. And the website is designed so that if you only were interested, for example, in Ancestry, you could follow the Ancestry projects all the way through and not really have to jump over to Family Search or MyHeritage or whatever to learn the extra information. You could just stay within the Ancestry family. Same type of concept for Family Search or MyHeritage or Find My Past. You could stay within a platform and learn what you need to learn. So here's some examples of Project 4, the shared goals or topics that are there. And there's also some shared topics in HELP and DNA projects, and I'll demonstrate those in just a moment. By the way, if you're looking for general information, such as I just want to learn about the basics of doing newspaper research. If you're doing that type of thing, you'll want to focus on the United States country page because it has basic information as well as United States specific information that can help you. So if you're in doubt about where to look and what location, go to the United States page and it will have that information there. Okay, hybrid topics. Sometimes you'll want to know something like, okay, I'm interested in finding some Irish settlers who immigrated to Canada. Generally, when you have a hybrid of Irish and Canada, look for the second category. So in other words, you would search for Canada in the immigration goal and you would find information about Irish settlers. Another example, tracing female ancestors in newspapers, look in newspapers. and you can find some information there. Or African American resources in New York, go to the New York goal and find information there. An exception to that would be immigration to the United States from whatever country. You would want to search the home country. So if you're immigrating from France to the United States, or your ancestors did, then you would look in the France immigration pages there. All right, so I'm going to walk through, before we get to that, walk through the project 4 family search here, Discover. And here are the shared goals that we talked about. Get organized, learn the basics, form a strategy, and then we jump over here to search skills, solve problems, family history trips, so forth. Okay, these items that have FS by them are family search specific. So if I open up this Get Organized for Research, this would be found in all of these platforms: Ancestry, MyHeritage, Find My Past, in project number 4. For example, if I open up the Ancestry, here you go with our shared topics: get organized, learn the basics, form strategy, and then we have Ancestry specific items. So if I click one of those, then you see the Ancestry specific information showing up there. Okay, so there are also shared projects with project number 6, Help, project number 7, Technology, and project number 8, DNA. So all of those are take advantage of the shared projects idea so that you can get the information across there. Okay. Hidden gems in the Family History Guide. There are a lot of them, and I won't presume to name my favorites or what you might classify as your favorites. But we do get quite a few people who say that this is just a wonderful tool to browse and find information. I was working with one of the employees of the New England Historical Genealogical Society recently, and he commented that the Family History Guide was just a total blast to work through, because he was finding all sorts of interesting clues and information that he wanted to focus on. So it's kind of the shiny object thing, but you can use the categories and the topics that are there to focus and channel your research and your interests. But there's a lot of interesting stuff to see there. So I would highly recommend taking the time to browse through that as well. More hidden gems. There are video handouts, and we talked a bit about these projects. So I'll dive in now and show a little bit about that as well. So on handouts, let's go to United States. And we're going to go to goal A2, location and geography. And if I scroll down just a bit in the jurisdictions topic here, item number 3, this is a typical family search in their help center, linked to one of their videos. And if you click it, you're going to see, of course, the video, but remember that you can also find links to handouts here. So if I click the handout, then I've got this that I can use as well as an addition. So you get not only the link to the video, but you get the handout as well. Okay, project 6, I'm just going to emphasize a couple of the goals here. Get help, genealogical societies, how to collaborate with other people. This is a wonderful goal because the information here helps you really get a handle on how to find other people who are working on similar projects as you might be, or how to help other people with your research if you're experienced that way. Lots of great information there. Family search number 7, technology, is a great way to increase your knowledge in technical tools. So you can learn about PC apps, Mac apps, Google apps, including Google Drive, Sheets, Google Docs, Slides. You can also learn social media tools step by step. So these are some great technological tools as well. And DNA. In the family search track for DNA, family search does not have its own DNA testing tools or kits. So the information here is all generic and shared amongst the platforms. But when you get to Ancestry, for example, and go to their DNA project, you can get more specific about what they offer. For example, DNA matching. So if I click here, then I have the step-by-step instructions that are going to help me with finding out what information do I get in a DNA test, what are the best tips to help me with matching, finding cousins and reaching out to people and expanding my tree through the DNA information that I've discovered. Okay, so those are some of the hidden gems in the Family History Guide that you can explore and find out more about. Next up is databases. All right, so you're probably familiar that the Family History Guide has links to lots of articles and videos, but one thing you shouldn't overlook are the links to databases as well. So you would look in country pages, United States state pages, England county pages, and so forth, anything locality based. And the databases are typically listed after the articles and video links, and databases are free to access. So sometimes people wonder if we are plugging any particular website. The answer is no, not really. When we link to a database, for example, it's a free database. It may also have paid options, but there should be substantial information you can get from free record searches and databases. The only platforms that really are paid in the Family History Guide, well, the major ones are Ancestry, MyHeritage, and Find My Past. However, Latter-day Saint users can get free access to those, and you also have free access if you're at a family history center. All right, so let's demonstrate a bit about databases. I'm going to go here in countries and British Isles, Ireland. And goal 1, I'm going to scroll down to choice B as we go deeper into Irish research. And you see links to quite a few different Irish databases that are free to use to help you accelerate your research there. All right, next up are tools. The Family History Guide has quite a few useful tools that you can take advantage of to accelerate your research and learning. So we'll talk about language translation, info buttons, quick links, US county resources and country provinces, using selective print, and using stars for personal progress or highlights for your training. Okay, let's take a look at those in the Family History Guide. First of all, select language. So up here in the header area, if I click the select language icon, you can see that you're able to get the Family History Guide translated into whatever other language you would like out of 100 possible languages. So if I wanted to translate this into, let's say, French, click that and you've got the Family History Guide in French. And I can go back here and select English and reset it. So that's pretty handy. Info buttons. We're going to go to the United States and goal number 1. If I scroll down just a bit, you'll see an info icon here, this little eye circle. So when you click that info button icon, notice that it expands out into a list of bullet points. And these are headings inside the particular video that you can jump to without having to manually scroll through the content in the video. So if I wanted to learn more, for example, about examining images, I could just click that point right there, and I could go directly to the spot in the particular video that talks about examining images here. So that is a handy way to save time there, jumping to internal spots inside videos that can save you some time accessing the information there. Sometimes there is an info button beside a link here, and you can click that and it takes you to insert internal spots inside of articles as well. Okay, let's talk about quick links. For example, I'm going to go to countries United States. And let's go to the state pages. They're all listed here. California. And you'll notice up here that there are lightning bolts for some of these topics. So if I click on a topic that has a lightning bolt, I will be able to find quick links. And quick links are basically links that take you directly to record search screens. So California birth index, for example, one click, and I'm at the family search collection screen ready to start searching there. So that is a handy way to get around there and find records that you need to. Notice another thing here. You'll see this in parentheses, it says more. So if you wanted to learn more about this particular record collection, you could click the more link and you go to a family search explanation page on the wiki that gives you some info about what is contained in those record collections and some tips on how to use it for successful searches as well. Okay, a couple of notes about quick links. We only have quick links for record collections that have 50,000 or more records in them. Otherwise, we would have thousands and thousands of quick links that would be very hard to maintain. So if you need to search a record collection that has fewer than 50,000 records, the best thing would be to go to the partner site, either Family Search or Ancestry or MyHeritage or Find My Past, and look through the records that they have available directly on their website. But this is a handy way of getting to record search screens quickly. Notice that you don't have to wend your way through the family search screens or ancestry screens and finding all of these different things. Okay, one other thing, let's go over to, in our country page, France. And we're going to go to goal 3, civil registration. Sometimes as you've encountered these quick links, especially in different countries, you'll find that we have extra links for provinces. So here you have some quick links for the general country of France. And if I click the provinces link, I get a long list of links that you could find that apply to different provinces within France. And you can click those. And these this list of provinces down here is basically family search links. So you could take any one of these and go to the family search wiki page for that particular province for some help resources there. All right, another thing that is handy in the Family History Guide as a tool, as we're talking about tools, is the selective print. So up here in the print area, this is on every page, not just for France, of course. So if I click print, basically sometimes people ask us if there is a printed version of the Family History Guide, and the answer to that is no, there's not, because A, it would be extremely large, and B, it would take a lot of work to maintain it. So what we do is we use this print-friendly tool, and you'll notice that the content here is a lot more condensed. You can also selectively remove, see this trash can item, I can just go and start removing things left and right, and you see you have less text there, and print out just what you want to. If you have mistakenly excluded something in your print selection, you can keep clicking undo, and one by one the excluded items come back until you have everything that you needed there. You can print to paper or to PDF and scale the image and so forth. So this is a handy way of doing printing in the Family History Guide. All right, another thing to show is with the online tracker. We talked about that a little bit. It's the one place in the Family History Guide where you do need an account. So if you log in, notice that I have logged in already. And so I have set up an account here. But before you do that, you can register on the home page there, choose a username and password, and it's pretty easy to get set up with that. So in the project tracker, you'll have all of the projects in the Family History Guide with links, and you can go to the particular pages here and see lists of goals and choices. You can type in your own customized user notes. You can slide these bars back and forth to tell whether you're not started or started or good or proficient at a particular item. And that's a good way of tracking your progress in the Family History Guide. Okay, one of the things that people are not that aware of is this feature called stars. So what if I wanted to get a list of all of the articles and videos that I have either read or watched in the Family History Guide? If I click this stars item up here, it will print out a list of all of these different items with the dates of when I read them or accessed them and a link to the item. Now, I've obviously read more articles and watched more videos than these, but these are the ones that I have indicated with stars. So you may be wondering, well, how do we get these to show up? So if I go back to, for example, any of these projects here, and I look for an article or video, you'll see that some of these have darkened stars and some of them have clear stars. So if you click on a star, that signifies that you have read that article, or if it's a video, you've watched that video. And that's how you get the report basically to fill out. You have to have an online tracker account and log into the online tracker, and then click the individual star that applies to the article or video. And then you will get, not only can you see on the page quickly what you've read or watched, but you can also get that group report to show you what you've read or watched across the entire Family History Guide website. Okay, so that takes us through tools. You can also, instead of using tools, instead of using stars to indicate what articles you have watched or what articles you've read or videos you've watched, you can also select them and darken them if you're teaching from the Family History Guide and you just want to indicate that those are the items on the page that you're going to be spending some time with. So it's a good way to just kind of have a cheat sheet or handy reference item yourself. Okay, the last thing that we'll talk about in this tips and tricks session is the vault. And the vault is a very powerful area. It basically contains links to articles and videos that are not considered the essential ones in the Family History Guide. In the main part of the Family History Guide, we just have one or two links per step for like one article or two articles and videos, that type of thing. But if you wanted to find out more about articles and videos and dive deeper into information, you can use the vault. So I'll show you how that works. Up here in the top menu, we have the vault, and I can go to the main page here. Up at the top, you have a list, kind of a legend of what you'll be able to find here. And so you could click any of these. For example, if I were interested in diving deeper into interviewing, I could click there, and here's a list of articles or stories. Here are some videos and articles. You notice we have some recent Roots Tech entries here. So this is a great way, and you could scroll down for quite a long time finding articles and videos that you might be interested in exploring as well. So back up at the top, there is a legend here, and you'll see that some of these articles and videos like AA, AC, WDY, you can find out the meanings for all of those abbreviations, like American Ancestors, Ancestry.com, who do you think you are, and so forth. So that gives you a sense of what types of articles and videos or who the authors of those articles and videos are. All right, each link is going to have a number of items. First, you've got the link to the video or the article, and then you've got for videos a timing. So this is 66 minutes, 26 seconds long. And then you have the date of when it was created. And this is a fairly new feature in the Family History Guide. We just added this, and the dates go in descending order from newest to oldest until you hit the articles, and then the dates start over again. And if there are no dates recorded, then those are placed at the bottom. So you have kind of at a glance a way to see things that are newer and older in the Family History Guide. Okay, so you will see also this main link. In many of the locations in the vault, there is a link to main, and what that means is it links to the main part of the family history guide. So if I click this link, I'm going to get some information on learning concepts in genealogy and so forth. And that is a handy way to get into the main part of the family history guide and see what is going on there. And that opened in a separate window. Also, for most of these topics, we have a back and forth type of a thing. So let's see, mistakes and myths. And you notice up in the vault area, or up in the top area here, you have a link to vault. So you've jumped into the main section here and you're learning about the particular items you want to, and then you can jump back using this vault link that returns you back to where you were before. So you have a kind of a go and return. With the vault, there is a certain amount of rotation. So from time to time, some of these articles will be put into the main section of the family history guide, and some of the items in the main section of the family history guide that may be older or not as useful, we'll pull those out. And so there is somewhat of a rotation, and we put extra things here to keep the website growing. Okay, so that is a quick overview of tips and tricks that you might find useful in the family history guide. The main thing is keep exploring. Access the family history guide often. We're adding things, updating. We have the new indexing and census for the 1950 census initiative. So that there will be information added there as well. So be sure to check back on that. And generally just see what kind of hidden gems you can find. Increase your family history IQ as you go. And we are very happy that you're supporting the Family History Guide. It's free. You can find us in social media on our YouTube channels, Facebook, Pinterest, blog, and Twitter. And if I go to the website, they're all here in the media menu right there where you can find all of those as well. Thanks very much. I've enjoyed this presentation. Be sure to check out the Family History Guide, www.thefhguide.com. It's free, and share it with your friends. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Bob. At this point, we do a Q&A, but I don't see any questions quite yet. Trying to think. I don't have any questions.
We have in chat two. Okay, there were thank yous.
Yeah.
Oh, there's also a question. Is there oh, that's for you, a webinar.
Yeah. Well, thank you
And,
for the presentation. I think it was just so well done that you did a very, very thorough job.
Okay, thanks. Hey, a shout out to Michelle Bailey from East Texas. Hello, Michelle. How are you doing? Good to hear from you.
Rusty asks if you could show where the selective print link is
Sure.
again.
So I'm going to need to share screen again. So here we go. And hopefully you're seeing that. Okay, in the header area of any particular screen, there is a print button. And all you have to do is click that print button and it will click the print friendly page there. One thing that I didn't get to show, for instance, in Family Search Project number 1, if you're dealing with larger graphics like that, and you didn't want that to print, you could actually go to the print friendly there, and you could delete that entire graphic. So that is a great space saver for printing as well.
Awesome.
Okay.
Thank you. I'm going to share over your screen.
Okay.
My picture. Thank you again, Bob Taylor, for coming and joining us today. That was just a fantastic presentation and webinar. And thank you for everybody that attended and joining us today. And we hope you will join us for our next webinar on the 14th, Virtual Libraries, where to find key genealogical library collections and how to access them with Annette Adams. And you can view this, a recording of this webinar will be made available next week, and you can view that on our YouTube channel or on our website. If you have any comments or questions, you can always email us at fhl_webinars@byu.edu or follow Facebook and Twitter. Thank you and have a wonderful week.
There was another question. Are we still on or?
Yep, we're still on.
Okay. A comment, I'm just learning about this and a family history consultant and a new service missionary. Are there any places to learn more? Yes, I would suggest the family search menu. You can learn just about anything about family search in that particular menu. So that's a great place. And that's what the Family History Library in Salt Lake uses to train new missionaries on using family search. That's a good one. And if you get research questions, Project 4 has some tips on how to do research and how to coach other people as well. So those are some good resources there. And then chat. Okay, so thank you. All right.
All right, thank you, everyone.